rappers have the craziest duos. Like if you got you a rapper and you got your main man beside you, we talking about him today. Let's get in, let's go. These people crazy.
Rappers moved solo. Others moved with a partner that made them 10 times more dangerous. These duos weren't just for music. They slid together, caught bodies together, and sometimes died for each other.
Slid
Rondo
together.
and L.A. weren't just 600s next up. They were the youngest demons in Chicago. T-Roy and King Von made O-Block famous by making their ops disappear.
Man, that's a
FBG Duck and
motherfucking
FBG
title
Brick
right
tried to
there.
bring peace, but still went out in blood. Some duos fed off each other's hunger for violence. Others paid the ultimate price. This is drill rappers and their deadly duos. Tried to bring peace, famous by youngest demons in Chicago. T-Roy and King Von made O-Block famous by making their ops disappear. FBG Duck and FBG Brick tried to bring peace, but still went out in blood. Some duos fed off each other's hunger
It
for
looked
violence.
like it's Bond
Others
all
paid the ultimate
17, but
price.
it wasn't.
This is drill rappers and their deadly duos. KTS Dre and KTS Von were more than duos. They were blood brothers. Dre, whose real name was Londre Sylvester, and Von, born Vontre Davis, were born into a notorious lineage of gang involvement in Chicago. KTS stands for Kill to Survive, and their crew was rooted in the Lakeside neighborhood on the south side, with deep ties to the gangster disciples. Their father, Vincent Davis, also known as KTS, was a feared gangster in the streets before being gunned down in 2015. From an early age, Dre and Von were both heavily involved in the gang lifestyle. Dre was the older brother and naturally took on the leadership role. Both would gain a name in the streets for their aggressive behavior on the streets and their constant targeting of rivals, particularly BD sets like NLMB and Terror Town. What made their presence even more dangerous was the fact that their gang wasn't that big, but they didn't need numbers. KTS was known for going to war no matter the odds. Though neither Dre nor Von were big on the rap scene, their names carried weight in Chicago due to their street rep and online presence. Dre especially started to become known for his diss-heavy posts on Facebook, diss dead BDs. He became infamous after a viral mugshot showing his neck covered in tattoos, including the large KTS inked across his throat. Von was just as active, as he can be seen multiple times sliding through rival neighborhoods looking for ops, so much that he has a slide compilation. KTS Von was the rapper out of the two and had multiple songs in Kill to Survive. He raps, "I'm submerged in the streets, I was made on the block." He's saying the streets aren't just where he's from, they're all he knows. Von was built in the trenches, molded by the block and shaped by violence. He continues, "Cutthroat Shorty, I'm a beast. Cutthroat Shorty, I'm a vet." This is him reminding everyone he's not new to this. He's earned stripes in the field. Beast and vet mean he's active, experienced, and dangerous. Later he says, "I remember going crazy with the tech. Had a string, so I put it on my neck." Here, Von gives a raw visual of how deep he was in, toting a tech like it was part of his neck, always ready to slide. Together, they were considered one of the most feared brother duos in Chicago, going head-on with NLMB, a black disciple set in Chicago, home of Gerbo, Mad Max, and Lil Biggie. Just 2 years earlier, Von was gunned down on June 23rd, 2017, on the 7500 block of South Street, Lawrence Avenue. He was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the head and body. But rumors swirled that Von's killer was someone from the BD side who had once been close to him. The possibility of Von being backdoored first set the stage for the extreme paranoia Dre displayed in his final years. After Von died, Dre became even more reckless. His social media posts got bolder, and his list of enemies grew. KTS Dre was once again active on Instagram Live when a viewer dropped a comment telling him he should get out of the city. Dre fired back without hesitation. "The only thing I need to see is my barber." That response made it clear. He wasn't worried about his enemies. He didn't think they were any real danger to him.
You need to leave the city, unless they gonna get you. What? What? I need to see the barber, nigga. That's what I need. I need to see my barber. I got myself looking up.
But those words didn't hold up for long.
They ain't worried about
the KTS brothers
they ain't worried about going up over there in Chicago.
Dre was out on bail and ended up getting locked up again after breaking the conditions of his release. Then, just 2 minutes after snapping a picture walking free from jail, someone slid on it. He was hit 64 times in a brutal ambush. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but he didn't survive.
What?
All the reckless talk, all the bold statements ended the same way most do in the streets.
Dude.
Surveillance footage
What?
later revealed multiple shooters were waiting outside the jail, tracking his release down to the minute. While no one has officially been charged, speculation points to Dre being
He
lined up by
died
someone
in the prison
close.
parking lot,
Many
fam.
believed his bond
What?
information being public was part of the setup. The fact that the gunmen were waiting in a car for hours outside the jail raises major questions about how they got the drop. Dre's funeral was heavily surveilled by police, fearing retaliation. No major getback has happened since, and it's believed the
That's
KTS
fucking
movement
crazy,
largely faded
bro.
after
Your man
Dre's
ain't
death.
getting back.
Lil Jeff and Q50 were one of the most feared duos to come out of the south side of Chicago.
Southside.
Both were affiliated with the Bloodhounds, a set known for its brutality, hits, and high-profile
Shout out
street
to
beats.
S.
Lil Jeff, whose real name was Jeffrey Harris Jr., quickly made a name for himself through drill tracks that glorified his body count.
Hell
He claimed
yeah.
11 hits in his lyrics and was known for flashy videos, taunting dead ops. Q50, his right-hand man, was just as active. Their chemistry was more than rap. They were partners in crime, both literally and musically.
And
They
50
moved like
lost
a
without him.
When Lil Jeff slid, Q50 was right there. But what most don't know that these two are cousins from their mom's sides. And Jay Boogie, Lil Jeff's big brother, is Q50's cousin. It got to the point where people couldn't even mention one without the other.
They don't
They
even hang
represented
out
the
though
new generation of bloodhounds, reckless, violent, and public with everything. Their ops weren't just local. The Bloodhounds were beefing with Risky Road, BKN,
And that
and
shit
other
was
sets
hard,
that had
man.
deep
That
ties
red
and real
shit was
hitters.
hard.
Lil
That
Jeff
Rango?
and Q50 were at the center of all of it. In 2023, a major turning point came when BKN members, Monty and Lil Rob, were caught on camera flexing a chain that belonged to Lil Jeff. Not long after, both Monty and Lil Rob were gunned down outside their high school. Whispers spread that Q50 and T Slick were also involved, and Jeff wasn't shy. In his music video for Ah, he rapped, "When I speak, it's only facts." He was screaming, "Ah," when he got hit. These weren't metaphors. This was confession
That shit
disguised
don't-
as rap. Meanwhile, Q50
That
started
shit don't
building
even
his own
sound
crowd.
right, bro.
He became known for interviews, viral clips, and beefing with rivals online. Still, he never left Jeff's side. They were often spotted in the same lives, smoking, toting, and flexing. But the same energy that built them would be the same thing that took them down.
That's the only way they want to live, though,
2024,
man. We
Lil
don't
Jeff
ride
was
unless
gunned
we
down
ride.
while allegedly
Ride
sliding
or
on
die.
Trap City,
Yeah.
a rival set. Right after his death,
We
Q50
RD over
and
here.
T-Slick were under heavy surveillance. T-Slick would eventually get charged for the double murder of Monty and Lil Rob. The feds connected it to
What?
Jeff's flexing and possible video footage of them in the getaway car. After Jeff died, Q50 started living differently. He moved to Atlanta. Q50
What?
dropped the song Long Live My Brutas, where he raps, "Long live Jeff, my brother a reaper, can't pray to God cause a still sinning and being evil." This was a shout out to Jeff, as he calls him the Reaper. This is because he went out sliding like a true Reaper, and he can't pray to God because he's still sinning. He later signed to members of Drench Gang like G Herbo and Mineski, but fans noticed T-Slick
Drench
was
Gang.
locked up, facing life, and Q50 wasn't answering his calls.
That's
Despite
fucked
everything,
up, Q.
Jeff and Q50's
That's
legacy
fucked
remains.
up, Q.
Their run was short
Come
but
on,
legendary.
50. You got
Their
the,
bond,
you can't
whether
live
real
by the
or
street and say you're going to take care of
shaped
your
the
mans
Chicago
and you
drill
ain't
scene
taking
in a
care of
way
your
that people
mans
still
and
talk
them.
about. T-Roy was raised in Parkway Gardens, also known as O-Block. He was surrounded by gang culture early, with several family members already affiliated. T-Roy wasn't big in size. He
Look
stood
at
only
Bond.
5 feet tall and weighed around 110 pounds, but he was fearless. As one of the first shorties in O-Block to carry a gun, he gained respect by putting in real work.
What?
His reputation grew
Shorty's
fast.
over there been
and
carrying
by the
guns
end
since
of
the
2012,
80s.
he was
What you
considered O-Block's
talking
top shooter.
about? Damn.
King Von moved to Parkway Gardens in 2009. He originally claimed Kill Award, but started spending time with the younger crowd in Parkway, where he quickly built bonds. One of his first connections was Whitey, who lived next door.
White.
Eventually, Von clicked with T-Roy and the rest of the shorties, but his affiliation with Kill Award and friendships with STL members caused tension. That all changed after Von was jumped by FBG Duck and others at a bus stop. After that beating, Von cut ties with STL and fully claimed O-Block. While Vaughn was locked up
Dang,
in
I ain't know
2011 for
that.
violating court orders, the streets were heating up. O-Block, formerly called Wick City, had just lost O.D. Perry. In retaliation, the block turned up the violence. T. Roy was one of the first to slide. In December 2011, 16-year-old Dale Fisher, or Tuka, was walking to the store when a silver car pulled up. Shots rang out. Dale was hit multiple times in the chest and pronounced dead at Stroger Hospital. Word on the street was that T. Roy was responsible. That was his first body. By the time Vaughn came home in 2012, T. Roy had already caught at least one more body.
Oh my God.
On April 28, 2012, Doc from EBT was gunned down walking to the store. Later that year, T. Roy allegedly dropped another victim, Dirty Rel. He was shot and killed in a drive-by. Later that day, STL slid back. Vaughn and Whitey were at the store when 50 shots from Gyro City pulled up and let off. Whitey was hit and later died at the hospital. That loss brought Vaughn and T. Roy even closer. From that point forward, they started sliding together. In September 2012, Vaughn caught his first body. A month later, in October 2012, Vaughn allegedly gunned down Modell in front of a house on the 6300 block of Rhodes. When Modell's cousin Miles tried to help, Vaughn shot him 5 times. Modell died, and Miles barely survived.
Dang,
Following weeks
Vaughn.
only added to Vaughn's body count. On October 30th, 2012, just weeks after Model's murder, Vaughn and members of 600 allegedly ambushed and shot P5 Crack 16 times. On November 8th, STL member Bostro was killed, and although Vaughn and T. Roy claimed it, STL said O-Block had nothing to do with that one. On November 19th, 2012, 32-year-old James Holman was gunned down next to a church.
Shit that ain't even
The next
their own
day,
bodies.
Vaughn got caught with a gun and went back to jail. While Vaughn was locked up, T. Roy kept the pressure on the ops. In 2013, T. Roy and Big A were allegedly aiming for KY and accidentally hit a man at a bus stop. By early 2014, Vaughn was back out, and he and T. Roy linked up immediately. Their main targets were Gyro City and STL members. In March 2014, Lil Mark from 051 dropped No Competition, dissing O-Block, 600, and OTF. He rapped, Baldy Pack, Mosky Pack, Tasty Pack, Lil Rob Pack, Wake Up ate a bowl of tricks, while I was blowing on D-Thang riding down to Steve Drive. Think I'm finna Odie took a trip to Lake. 3 days later, he was gunned down while waiting at a bus stop. Vaughn was allegedly present. In February 2017, tragedy hit. T. Roy was killed by TB from STL while trying to slide on someone else. He was shot on February 14th. He died at 23. Vaughn broke down in his cell when he heard the news. T. Roy's death turned Vaughn even colder. Vaughn was eventually released from jail on December 6, 2017.
Look at that boy,
By then, he was a certified legend in the streets. He started rapping in jail. In 2018, he dropped Problems, and by 2020, he was a star. But he never forgot T. Roy. In the song All These Vaughn raps, T. Roy ain't dead, he's still trying to score. In Crazy Story 2.0, he says, T. Roy got hit, I was in that cell. He constantly kept T. Roy's name alive in his music and let it be known that his brother's death changed him forever. Vaughn went on to feud with NBA Youngboy and Quando Rondo. In November 2020, Vaughn was shot and killed in Atlanta during an altercation with Quando's crew. He died just like T. Roy, shot in the streets. The duo of T. Roy and King Von defined a generation of Chicago drill. They weren't in it for clout or the camera. They were real-life street soldiers. Both lived by the gun and died by the gun. FBG Duck and FBG Brick were two of the most important figures in the STL EBT camp during the height of the Chicago drill era. Duck was born Carlton Weekly in Chicago and grew up in a violent environment. His older brother, FBG Brick, was already in the streets, and Duck followed close behind. While Brick was known for his reputation in the streets, Duck started gaining attention for his raps. Even in the early days, Duck's music was filled with disrespect and name drops of his dead ops. Brick was quieter in terms of rap, but had heavy influence on the streets and was considered one of STL's top members. Both brothers were affiliated with the Flyboy Gang, and close to other members like Billionaire Black, Young, Dutchy, and Lil J. Duck and Brick's rise happened around the same time as the rise of Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and O-Block. But while O-Block had Interscope backing and a massive industry wave, STL remained underground. Despite that, FBG built its own movement. Duck's music especially started catching attention beyond Chicago. In 2012, FBG Brick was already known to be involved in multiple drills. His name was brought up in connection to retaliations for the deaths of STL members. Brick and Duck were close to Lil Jojo before he was killed. Brick had a reputation for sliding on his ops, and he was feared even by members of opposing sets. At the same time, Duck was still building his rap profile. He was dropping songs on YouTube that dissed O Block members by name.
Damn.
And each time a BD died, Duck had a track ready.
Oh
when
my
King
God.
Von and T-Roy were active, Duck and Brick were seen as their direct opposition. While Von and T-Roy were known for sliding into Tookaville, Duck and Brick were the ones holding the block down. It was a back and forth war. STL couldn't keep up with O Block in terms of fame, but they didn't lack in violence. Brick was one of the shooters that STL depended on to retaliate. According to FBG Butter, an affiliate of the two, Brick was respected because he was the first person to have motion, reportedly always going to Las Vegas.
See, when I call Brick a legend, like, I ain't saying Brick no legend because folks did. Brick did legendary shit, gang. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, right? Brick come home. Brick did all his time in jail, bro. Duck was out here striving on his career trying to get that. You hear me? Brick wasn't nowhere as good as Duck, man. But the moment Brick came home, Brick went from like this to like this within weeks, gang. Then what make him legendary? Brick was with Sway Lee, Floyd Mayweather. He in the mix. You see what I'm saying? Brick was the first one to lead a rack and go to Vegas. Before Yellow Boy, before J Mane, before being and them did Arizona, and before everybody got to doing Vegas and shit like that, Brick was already down. Now Brick set the play for this shit.
Duck was also known for standing 10 toes down even while rising in fame. He refused to leave Chicago. He stayed in the hood, gave back to his block, and even used his buzz to diss his ops. The dynamic between Duck and Brick was clear. Duck was the one that carried the message, the flag, and the disrespect. Brick was the one who enforced it. When STL needed someone to handle business, Brick was the one who made calls and handled retaliation. In interviews, Duck mentioned how his brother had his back no matter what. The two had different personalities, but they shared the same enemies and same loyalty to Tookaville. Despite the dangers, both Duck and Brick remained visible. In 2017, Brick began to try and transition into rap more seriously. He had a few tracks on YouTube, but he wasn't as consistent as Duck. That same year, both brothers were making music together and pushing STL's movement, but it would be their visibility that caught up with them. On July 17, 2017, both Duck and Brick were seen hanging around in the Woodlawn area. They were allegedly lured to the area for a setup.
Oh, man.
While Duck left before the incident, Brick and another man named Kobe Mack stayed behind. As they were walking through the neighborhood, they were ambushed. Multiple shooters opened fire. Brick was hit several times and tried to run but collapsed. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Duck was devastated. Brick wasn't just his brother. He was his right hand. One of the only people he trusted in STL. After Brick's death, Duck's tone in interviews and music became even more aggressive. He made it clear that his ops would pay for what happened. Duck wanted to slide. He didn't believe in peace and felt that the only thing the streets understood was retaliation. Multiple O-Block and 600 members mentioned Brick and Duck in tweets and IG stories, mocking their deaths and daring STL to slide. So FBG Duck dropped the song Dead Bitches, one of his most disrespectful songs yet. He raps, "Y'all heard about J Money getting did the same way." This was a diss to O Block J Money, who was gunned down, implying he will gun down any op just like how J Money got it. It got even worse when he rapped, "I know you heard about Lil Boo. Bullets was hitting him. He was singing like Mariah."
Oh my God.
He was dissing Lil Boo from 600, making fun of how he was gunned down and that he was singing like Mariah. It got out of hand when he dissed D-Thong, Lil Durk's older blood brother, by rapping, "I'll go to D-Thang grave and take a piss on that." His disrespectful run came to an end. While shopping in the upscale Gold Coast neighborhood with his girl, two cars pulled up. 4 shooters hopped out and lit the block up in broad daylight. Duck was hit in the chest and neck and later died in the hospital. More than a year later, 5 men from O Block, C Murda, C. Thang, Mu Wap, Loss, and Zell Munna were federally indicted in a RICO case for the hit. Their deadly duo proved that blood can bond in war just as much as it does in life.
Dang.
Even if STL never got the mainstream
Make sure
shine
you
that
find your
O-Block
duo,
did,
bro. If
Duck
you ain't
and
got
Brick
your
made
duo,
sure their side of the story was never
2025,
forgotten.
you laugh.
Rondo Number 9 and Lay Capone were two of the most promising young talents out of 600. Born Clint Massey and Leonard Anderson, they weren't just rising stars in the drill scene. They were brothers in arms. In the streets and in the booth, these two had chemistry that made them stand out. In a legendary freestyle video with Rhonda Number 9 at the back, L.A. Capone raps about splitting bread with his homie.
Never happened, you hear me? Hey, you heard I said that new shit. I say, if he can't break bread, he fake. I had one more buck on my plate. It was me and Bro. We was in the store and both of us got fit.
You say cake?
They say, damn, what the fuck come up with, how the come up with that type of shit? Cause that shit was true, man. I did that shit, man. That shit really happened.
It really happened. This shit really happened. This real life.
Real shit.
Real shit.
Rondo Number 9 was loud, brash, and confident. Known for his aggressive delivery and militant street presence, Rondo embodied the energy of drill at its peak. He repped 600 hard and was always seen with the likes of C-Dye, D-Rose, and L.A. Capone. Lay Capone, on the other hand, was more reserved off-camera but vicious when need be. Smooth delivery, sharp bars, and charisma made him stand out. L.A. was considered the future of 600, with a serious chance to blow up beyond drill. His song, Play for Keeps, is still one of the hardest diss tracks in Chicago history. Their bond started in the streets and grew tighter through music. L.A. was one of the first to help Rondo develop as a rapper. While L.A. had already started to gain attention in the local scene, Rondo was making noise with tracks like Shooters and Life of a Savage.
L.A. Capone.
When they linked on tracks,
Rondo
it was
Number
dope.
9.
Songs like Taliban and Play for
Rondo
Keeps
for the
remix
9.
showcased the deadly duo chemistry they had. But this wasn't just music. Behind the scenes, they were active. L.A. was known for hanging with hitters and shooters. Rondo was no different. Both of them were in the field, living the life they rapped about. OTF, 600, and Lamron were all deeply connected, and these two were in the thick of it. In September 2013, L.A. Capone was on his way out of a recording studio on 70th and Stony when he was ambushed. A shooter ran up and shot him in the thigh, lower back, and wrist. He was rushed to Northwestern Memorial Hospital but didn't make it. He was only 17.
Wow.
The news rocked the city.
Wow.
L.A. was loved, feared, and respected. His death was a direct hit to the momentum 600 had in the rap game. Rondo took it hard. You can hear the pain in his music after L.A.'s death. He dropped Life of a Savage too, and every other bar felt like he was carrying L.A.'s spirit. He once rapped, "My bro L.A. he gone, so I'm sliding for L.A." After L.A.'s death, Rondo became even more reckless. He moved militant, paranoid, and aggressive. The streets were heating up, and retaliation was always a question.
Paranoid and shit if
On
your
February
brother just got
22nd,
knocked.
2014,
Come on,
Rondo
man,
and
you
Tadai
gotta
were
move
involved
like
in a
that,
shooting
bro.
that would change their lives
Life
forever.
out here is
According to
serious.
prosecutors, Rondo and Kadai got into an argument with a livery driver named Javan Boyd. They allegedly circled back, and Kadai fired multiple shots into Boyd's vehicle, killing him. Rondo was later arrested and charged with murder. The police used surveillance footage, cell phone records, and even Kadai's fingerprint on Boyd's car to build the case.
What?
The trial was a spectacle. With Rondo's growing fame,
Stupid.
the
What
media
happened to
covered
only
every
touching the
detail.
trigger with
In
gloves
2016, Rondo Number 9 was sentenced to 39 years in prison.
Oh my God.
Kadai received 38. The same street life that gave Rondo and LA their bars also took everything away. Even from behind bars, Rondo has tried to keep LA's memory alive. In letters, calls, and songs recorded before his arrest. But what was crazier was a picture went viral of Rondo in jail with Lil Mike. Together, they were more than a duo.
Nah.
They were two sides of the same coin, the lyrical killer and the energetic shooter.
That's gonna do it for us today, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Run this channel up, man, so we can all eat. Because if I eat, my family eats. You are my family. My subscribers are my family. Lock it in, bro. Peace.
My name is Andrei Azizov. I'm a graphic designer and musician. I use Adobe Express a lot of the time for tour.
Getting lined by your own people is the coldest way to go out in the streets.
Wow. Coldest way to go out in the street. What's up? It's your boy Stevie83, and we're back with another react. You know what I'm saying? Today, I'm back with the boot up. You feel me? Rappers who got backdoored. Let's get it. Let's go. These people crazy.
Quando Rondo left the Crips after rumors his own Rolling 60 set him up. Bloodhound Lil Jeff got robbed by his own homies and made them pay the consequence. Nas EBK got invited to a party and walked straight into a back door.
EBK.
Lil Scoom told his mom something felt off right before he was gunned down leaving a girl's crib.
Damn.
These weren't random hits. These were inside jobs.
Inside.
This is drill rappers that got backdoored. Lil Jeff had one of the fastest rises and darkest falls. What started with a strong alliance quickly turned into one of the most shocking backdoors in recent drill history.
Now this boy got shot 19 times. He got hit 19 times. They stood over him and put multiple in. Like, let me know if you guys have ever got shot in the comments. If you ever been hit up in the comments, let me know. I'm curious.
Jeff had close
I've been
ties
hit
with
twice.
BKN, also known as
Once in the
Nitty Block.
knee, once in the
Their
side.
members were connected to Jungle, a set on the west side of Chicago, and Jeff could be seen chilling with them, hanging out on their block, and even showing love on social media. There's a clip of him in the jungle posted up like he's one of their own. Everything changed when two BKN members, Monty and Lil Rob, pulled what the streets now call one of the most disrespectful robberies in Chicago drill history. He was in the lobby of an apartment building with Monty and Rob when they asked to see his chain. Not expecting anything shady, Jeff handed it over. But in a flash, they ran off.
Throw back to when Bloodhound Lil Jeff clears the air about Monty robbing him for his jewelry.
Public service announcement. On my dead grandmother's head, if I'm lying, I'm down. God could come pull me out this car right now. I never took a dollar from nothing. Said, let me take a picture, this, that, and that. I look up, the taking off down the stairs with 5 more extra. I'm like, damn, I thought it was gangster. The whole time I'm right there still working with him. I'm telling them, we can keep this gangster, be gangster, and I respect it's gonna be what it's gonna be. To keep this gangster. One gangster, now look, sad. I got money all roses and teddy bears.
Do you think this was a valid
He said I gotta buy roses and teddy bears.
reason for Lil Jeff to crash out?
Just days after the robbery, Monty appeared in a BKN vlog posted by Word from the Trenches. In the middle of the video, Monty FaceTimes Jeff, laughing and showing off the very watch they stole, while flexing on camera. Jeff, on the other end of the line, was clearly heated, trying to get their location.
Really good. Like I said, shout out Baby Drill, my big cousin Cho, 2 Feet Bino, shit, really the whole 4L gang. Like I fuck with the whole 4L. Shout out Young Nudie and my cousin too, all my folk down there in the 8. It's going on for real.
You ain't got nobody in mind like you gotta fuck with like industry wise like shit.
Really, like, I ain't gonna lie, twin. Like,
Good, man. We got JL, man.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I ain't gonna lie.
Put that J in there.
Look, only artist I really wanna f with right now, probably Big 30, goddamn.
How much that is on y'all wrist right there, man?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
On January 26, 2024, just 6 days after that FaceTime video dropped, Monty and Lil Rob were spotted walking near Innovations High School in downtown Chicago during their lunch break. It was around 12:30 p.m. and the streets were packed. Suddenly, 2 cars pulled up. Shooters wearing masks hopped out and opened fire. Monty and Rob were hit and dropped instantly. 3 weeks after the hit, Lil Jeff released his biggest song yet.
They did what they did, and they had to pay the
he confessed the hit on the song. He rapped. They did what they did, so they had to pay the consequence.
Know that.
This was a hint to the Chang and Watch robbery and Monty and Lil Rob having to pay the consequence. It hard when he rapped, we hopped out with 4 poles and 2 got hit. Clear as day. 2 shooters, 2 victims.
2 guns.
And the most self-incriminating part of the song was the line when Lil Jeff said, when I speak, it's only facts. He was screaming, when he got hit. This was reference to the viral video of Monty laying on the floor when he got hit screaming. Not long after the double hit of Monty and Lil Rob, Lil Jeff went on another drill, where he pulled up to Trap City member's hood and swung his door and saw Trap City Glenn. Trap City Glenn in the yellow shorts ran in the house for cover. Lil Jeff chased him up the porch, but as soon as he walked up, Trap City Rob blicked him, and Lil Jeff's reign in the streets was over. The feds finally made their move. Because Lil Jeff was gone, authorities arrested Bloodhound T Slick for the hit on Monty and Lil Rob. Due to Lil Jeff's death, he avoided charges in this murder. However, it is widely believed he would have been charged alongside Slick had he still been alive. Nas EBK came up in the Bronx and was originally associated with several major sets in the city.
That's the problem. You cannot be associated with several major cliques. You have to be militant in this shit. This streets ain't playing, bro. You don't get to hit reset like you do on the game. You feel me? Your shit is not even gonna be publicized unless you're a drill rapper or even, you know what I mean? You gotta be active in these streets for people to even be talking about you. Like, the internet's so bogus. If you're not drilling and illing, you're not gonna be famous. That's just what it is.
Before becoming widely known as a member of DOA, Nas was heavily affiliated with members
gotta
of OGs
poke somebody on a daily basis.
PJ Goon, Shaw EK, and PJ Glizzy. He used to chill regularly on their block and was trapping. He was selling wedding cake runts and other packs on the block, often at odd hours of the night. The relationship seemed tight enough that Nas likely saw the OGs as allies, or at least people he could trust in the streets.
He thought
Everything
wrong.
changed
The
when
old
PJ
boys
Glizzy
are the ones
allegedly
sitting the young
decided it was
boys
time
up.
to cross
They get the
Nas.
young boys to do it. The
After
YNs.
months of pretending to be cool with him and
you
building
gotta
a fake relationship,
Man.
PJ set him up. Nas was
Y'all
invited to what he
tripping.
thought was a regular party. He was told to link up and wait upstairs until the lift arrived to take them to the party. But once Nas got to the location, things quickly turned left. Two other goons showed up with PJ, and they jumped Nas in the hallway. Nas tried to escape, running downstairs and knocking on the door of someone he thought could help him. But he ended up knocking on the wrong apartment, and PJ and his guys caught him, robbing him on the spot. They took a pound of wedding cake, worth about $2,000, and tried to take more. Nas later stated that if he had been carrying what he usually carried that day, the outcome might have been very different.
He'd have been
He implied
he'd been
he was
down
caught
15.
off guard, trusting the wrong people at the wrong time. After the
Can't
robbery,
trust nobody.
Nas completely distanced
Nobody.
himself from the OGs and began fully repping the Sev side. PJ Glizzy, instead of denying the accusations, went live on Instagram and fully admitted to robbing Nas EBK.
I robbed you, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I robbed you, gang. You ain't do about it. And I'm in a Rose right now. You still ain't do nothing about it. I'm in the same place that you could catch me every day in the Rose. Nas EBK, you're a bum. Stop mentioning me, bro. Nah, no funny shit, bro. You gonna get me mad, bro. Like, you DOA, I'm DOAK. Like, that game split back to back to back. Leave me alone.
Nas EBK said he had much more on him that day, including over $100,000 in a credit card in his book bag that needed a PIN to access. PJ and his crew didn't know how to use them, so they only got the pound. Nas EBK clowned PJ for robbing a pound from him, saying he made the money back in 2 days. Nas EBK said the whole robbery was the result of years of building a relationship just to get close enough to rob him.
Wow.
And then on top of that, blind me for a pound. What's a pound? A pound of wedding cake. That's you're really broke, bro. A wedding cake. That's all they got from me. A pound of wedding cake. Congrats. That's $2,000. Oh my God.
I shit on that. I've been
Got that
shitting
right
on
back
that every
in
day.
2 days. And your own man's gonna vouch for that. CJ Goon watched me get the 2 bands back in 2 days. Literally trapping. Easy. Come on now. Yeah, had to do the most to get 2 bands. That niggas took 6 months of building up. Not even 6 months. Years.
Oh
Fuck
my
that.
God.
Years of building a relationship with me to get to me. So y'all can rob me for $2,000. Alright, bro.
Nas called it one of the biggest betrayals ever.
That's crazy.
Especially because of how long they
These
waited.
young boys
and how
out here
close they
broke
pretended
and
to be
thirsty.
Just to snake him.
They not
Nas
hungry because
EBK
they be
left
out
the
getting
OGs.
money. They thirsty
He moved
for
towards
clout.
Side and began repping DOA. He started publicly dissing his former affiliates and focusing his energy on his new camp.
I'm gonna give
In
this
his track,
channel
I
2
Be
more
Mad Too,
years.
He rapped,
If this
"Yeah,
shit ain't
there's
got
a couple
me
bands, but who the f you think he is?
100K
That's
plaque
supposed to be
in
my
2-3
man."
more
Hinting
years,
at the incident,
I'm done,
mentioning
bro.
the money PJ
I
Glizzy
need a
robbed from him
goal.
and that it wasn't much money. After Nas EBK opened up about being backdoored by PJ Glizzy and others, everybody started giving the opinion, with fans showing support and frustration over the betrayal. One viewer summed it up clearly. I
That's
believe
crazy.
him 100% because it's the same way Blockwork explains why he fell out with them too. Backdooring is not cool and will never be.
What?
Another comment gave Nas credit for being transparent.
Backdooring's not cool and it never will be, but what they're not understanding is backdooring is lucrative. If you got somebody that's got 20 on their head, 30 on their head, sometimes more. Folio had 50 on his top one time before. And some people gonna come try to get that money? You know what I mean? They want that money.
This
and
dude
they'll go
kept it
through
a
whoever
being,
they got to
respected.
get it.
Others took it as a bigger lesson about trust.
Broke and
Your closest
hungry.
friends be your biggest competitors for real, for real. Exactly why I moved Dolo. And some even quoted lyrics that hit harder
well,
now.
I don't move Dolo.
Dirk said it best.
I can't say that.
Watch who you call your homie. These comments reflect the overall
I moved
feeling
with
from
me
fans.
and Nina
Nas
4/5.
wasn't just robbed. He was betrayed by people he trusted, and the streets took notice. Memo 600 came up from the trenches of 60th and King Drive on Chicago's South Side. Originally a member of the
South Side.
600 set, in 2019,
Okay, out of Chicago.
Nemo officially
Which
got
side
signed
goes
to
the
Lil
hardest?
Durk's OTF,
North,
with
west,
cosigns
east,
from
or
D.
south?
Bang
Which
and
one
King
goes the
Von,
hardest?
two figures who
For
played
me in
major
Baltimore,
roles
the
in
west
label's
and the
growth.
east go the hardest of
When
everybody
Memo
in
dropped the
Baltimore.
remix
The
to
west and the
Exposing
east.
Me with King Von, his buzz
The east probably go
exploded,
more
and fans
harder than
believed
all
he was
of
next
them.
up
For
for
real, I ain't
OTF.
gonna front.
Everything
I'm for
changed
over the
after
west,
King Von's
but
death
the
in
east
November
really be
2020.
good.
Von had always shown love to Memo and helped guide him through the industry.
Memo.
Memo credits Von with putting him on game, even saying Von helped him buy his first house and tried to pay for his grill. But once Von was gone, so was that protection. When D-Thong was gunned
Protection.
down months later, Memo's second major connection inside OTF vanished too. The thing is, King Von and D-Thong were the only guys in OTF
They're
that
killing
really
me with
messed
the
with Memo.
D-Thong shit.
Once they were gone, so was his protection, and things started to fall apart. Memo openly expressed feeling unsupported.
I mean, do you want to address why, you parted ways with OTF, though?
Yeah, I had to do my own thing. I feel like I wasn't supportive enough, like 100%.
What?
I'm too hot. I got Uzi features. It's a lot of game that supposed to have been way more than what it was that was swept under the rug and hidden. You feel me?
That's what happens
I really
in the
came
industry,
up on
bro.
steppers, bro.
You gotta
on my
be
own, like,
watching your own shit.
Bro, them just push me. Respect to them for pushing me, but that support wasn't that, gang. I feel like it wasn't that.
The support from who?
The label I was with OTF.
According to many fans on Reddit, Memo was sneak dissing Lil Durk behind closed doors. A fan said
See,
this.
you can't
He's
do that,
also sneak
especially to
dissed
the
and said
owner
some
of the
things about
fucking
Durk a few different times in the last
corporation.
couple years. I think Durk just separates himself from Memo because of his antics and all the clubhouse yapping. This made Lil Durk fall out with Memo, and many other OTF members picked Durk's side. The disrespect reached a new level when Memo's
Anybody gonna
OTF
pick Durk's
chain
side
with
when
600
he
Boys
was
Forever
friends with the
got
man.
snatched not once, but
Bomb.
twice. The first time, it was ops like TTB Nez posting videos flaunting the chain.
We ain't giving that bitch back. We ain't giving that bitch back. We cannot get that bitch back. That bitch going up. That bitch going right in the books. Bro, you gonna put that bitch.
The second time, it wasn't the opposition. It was his own people. Chef Bezu, a well-respected
crazy.
affiliate of OTF, allegedly took Memo chain, and no one inside the camp stepped in to stop it. This was the definition of backdoor, and it proved Memo was no longer safe within his own circle. On Live, Zoo taunted Memo directly, telling Memo to come get the chain in person, and told him to stop talking on the internet and that he wasn't really 600.
You got tens in there, bro.
Oh, that's what you mad about? Yeah, that was for you, Memo. You know what's going on. You ran. On Kyle, I'll leak the footage. Stop playing with me on this internet, nigga. What's wrong with you?
Wonder how many
Around,
people done
nigga.
got sent up
Tell
top.
Memo bring his bitch ass
out of
bitches. He want to get on the
internet
internet and
shit.
put the internet in the streets business, nigga. This ain't got nothing to do with your block. You ain't from 600, clown. You ain't from 60, nigga.
Meanwhile, Memo tried to
You ain't
deny
from
it on
there, you
Twitter,
ain't from
saying
there.
he still had his chain. In the tweet, he said, "On Steve, I don't know them fan-ass. I got all my jewelry on right now. Wasn't me, Vic." In Lil Durk's new song snippet, he raps,
Wasn't me,
I
Vic.
cut off Timo for a real reason. I ain't do that on purpose. I cut off Memo for the same reason. He ain't served his purpose. This shows how Durk and OTF feel about Memo The memo later tweeted he was no longer OTF.
What does Steve drive? Like, is that a famous street in Chicago? Let me know in the comments
below. His name began to circulate heavily in 2024, not just for his music, but
and
also
how old
for
Lil
his ties with
Scoom was
Bloodhound
when he
Lil
got
Jeff.
passed away?
On July 7th, 2024, everything changed. Scoom was fatally gunned down at the intersection of East 89th Street and Langley Avenue in Chicago.
Wow.
This incident sparked immediate backlash, rumors, and speculation that he had been set up by those closest to him. What made Scoom's case so suspicious was the timing and location of the shooting.
It probably
Reports
was.
confirmed that Scoom had just left his girl Journey's house and Nene Brooks after getting his hair done. Nene was no stranger to drama in Chicago. Her name had already been tied to multiple incidents, and she was rumored to have relationships with other gang affiliates.
Nah.
After Scoom left her house, his girlfriend suspiciously was stalling, not letting Scoom in the house. He was hit twice in the chest and later died at the University of Chicago hospital. According to Lil Scoom's mom, he was already expecting something to happen to him when she tweeted, "Hi everyone, I'm Mama Scoom. All the laughs and jokes I accept because me and my baby had talks about this. He wasn't afraid, but one thing for sure, my baby called before he left saying he ain't feel right. I love you son forever and after this life."
Bro.
What raised eyebrows even
You
further
gotta
was
go
the
with
company.
your first mind in these streets, bro. You gotta go with your first mind. If your first mind's telling you something's about to happen, something's about to happen. Keep your head on a swivel, on a pivot, bro. You got to. I got 43 out here. I'm about to be 43. I got out here that long, and I was growing up raw too. I was growing up ruthless too. Wasn't nothing I wouldn't do. Wasn't nothing I wouldn't shoot. You know what I mean?
Scoom had been keeping in the months before his death. Word on
Them
the streets
videos, I
was
shoot them videos
Scoom had
all
recently
day
gotten close
long.
with Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Some speculated that Scoom was the one who dropped the location on Monty and Lil Rob, two rivals who were gunned down earlier that year, which could be the reason why he didn't feel right. He admitted he dropped out of school shortly after Monty and Rob were hit, saying he couldn't go back after that.
Oh, did you finish high school?
I dropped out.
Okay, what year?
This year.
Oh, you just dropped out. You supposed to be in school right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to graduate. I was just locked up. I ain't even go to prom.
Okay.
Damn, life lesson, man. Get your ass to
up, though.
prom.
I want to go. I ain't gonna say like I won't go to go to school, graduate and shit.
Hell
I
yeah,
wanted
prom.
that shit.
Can't.
So you just
miss
dropped
your
out this year?
prom,
Was
bro.
this year your senior year?
Yeah. That's dumb as hell. I dropped out my senior year. I know, fool. Everybody be telling when I tell them, they be like, "Dang, you dumb as we should finish out." You knew what I knew. Shit get real.
Huh?
He just
So
told
basically,
you
you was
right
in a
there.
situation like you couldn't go back to school.
Hell no, 2 niggas died.
Okay, cool. Right.
So they killed 2 kids for my school.
So you went to that school?
Yeah.
The 2 kids that got killed. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh man, what?
That moment made many believe that his mental state and safety had been compromised long before the night of the shooting. Online rumors also pointed at Nene Brooks being part of the back door. She allegedly fled the city after Scoom's murder, and misinformation flooded social media, falsely claiming she and her family were killed when she tweeted, "They killed my auntie." Then she tweeted, "Watch who low I drop now." She was talking crazy. One person who added fuel to the fire was Bango KD. He went live talking about being with Nene Brooks and Lil Scoom's girlfriend Journey just hours before Scoom was killed. That, combined with reports that Scoom was shot just after getting his hair done at Journey's place.
Listen, man, listen. Us older guys been telling y'all younger boys, y'all YNs, y'all youngsters, y'all youngins, y'all jits, y'all hoppers. They call them hoppers out where I'm from. Y'all hoppers. Y'all don't understand how real it is, man. Y'all don't understand that the backdooring is real. Like,
combined with reports that Scoom was shot just after getting his hair done at Journey's place,
At
made many
Journey's
believe
place.
it was a clean backdoor play.
Right,
On
see?
top of that, there were reports that another teen named Lil Will was with Scoom that night. Lil Will was shot too, found inside an Uber and taken to the hospital. He survived, but details of what he told police have not been made public.
Wow.
What makes this crazier is that
We need
according
to
to
hear
fans on
that.
Reddit, the suspect was able to gun down Lil Scoom, shoot Lil Wool. have a shootout with cops and escape on feet without any arrests being made, showing how laid back the Chicago Police Department is.
See what I mean?
What's worse is that many believe Scoom was already a marked man. Some said his name was being brought up too often after the Monty and Rob situation.
Yeah.
If he did give up the drop on them, it was only a matter of time before someone got revenge. Quando Rondo is affiliated with the Rollins 60s neighborhood Crips, and his association with his own gang came with fatal consequences. The beef between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk can be traced back to the November 2020 altercation that resulted in the death of King Von.
Dang, look at him holding on to him. He can't
King
get
Von
up.
was fatally shot outside an Atlanta nightclub while giving Quando Rondo the hands. This incident caused war between the two crews. On August 19,
I don't know why you don't fight more. It would be way better online.
A violent episode unfolded that would have lasting repercussions. Quando Rondo and his cousin, Lul Pab, were ambushed at a gas station near the Beverly Center. 3 assailants opened fire on their black Cadillac Escalade, resulting in the death of Lul Pab. Quando Rondo, though physically unharmed, was visibly distraught at the scene. In the aftermath, rumors swirled regarding the involvement of rapper Brick Baby in orchestrating the attack.
Come on,
Brick Baby, also affiliated with the Rollins 60s neighborhood Crips, was alleged to have provided information about Quando Rondo's whereabouts to
Brick
Lil
gotta
Durk's
be
camp.
damn near my age.
In Lil Durk's case, document co-conspirator 4 gave the location on Quando Rondo's whereabouts. Many people believe Brick Baby was co-conspirator 4.
Lil Durk and 5 co-conspirators have been arrested for murder for hire. In the situation where Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab got
Look at his
killed
dirty ass hat.
in LA. When you go through the paperwork, it says that the location where Quando Rondo and his crew were staying in LA was provided by co-conspirator 4. And right when it happened, a whole bunch of people started to say Brick Baby is co-conspirator 4. In fact, I had Whack 100 on my show, and I think he was trying to imply the same thing.
So they said that or co-conspirator number 4 is I'm the one that provided the location to
Lil Durk, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nah. You know what I mean? Like, I know it looks, I wouldn't be right here doing all this first and foremost if I was co-conspirator.
Big U, the big homie of the Rollins 60s.
Now listen, what a lot of people don't know is the feds will arrest you, but the feds will also PR you back out on your own shit. You know what I mean? The feds, I've seen them do it many a time. People come into the jailhouse, and the feds let them right back out till they get indicted and go to court. I've seen it happen, man. So he could have already been arrested for it and back out on it on a PR bond from the feds.
Has long advocated for the check-in practice, wherein visiting artists coordinate with him for protection. Quando Rondo's failure to check in was met with criticism from Big U. Federal investigations later revealed connections between Big U's check-in policies and the fatal incident involving Lil Pab, suggesting the back door was made from his own gang on the West Coast.
That's crazy.
These events prompted Quando Rondo to publicly renounce his gang ties. In a heartfelt declaration, he expressed the lack of loyalty within the gang culture and announced his decision to lay down his flag, signaling his departure from the Rollins 60s.
Crazy.
Many fans expressed empathy and support for him, especially in light of him trying to change and move away from gang life. One comment read, "I be low-key feeling bad for homie," showing that even those who might not always agree with Quando's past decisions
he got a
still
whole
see the
eighth in
pain
that
he's
blunt.
going through. Another viewer took a more spiritual approach, stating, Quando blessed with wisdom and divine guidance, implying that his decision to step away from street life was not only wise, but possibly part of a bigger journey. Some fans criticize the industry as a
God
whole,
call you
confused
sometimes.
as to why
God tell you
Quando
get out.
received so much backlash despite trying to evolve.
Hope you listen.
One person wrote, "I don't understand why the industry mad at Quando. It's crazy. I support Buddy. If you like this video, click one of the windows on each side to watch a video similar to this one. I don't understand why the industry mad at Quando. It's crazy. I support Buddy.
That's gonna do it for me, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn and post notifications on so you never miss an upload. We out. Peace.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill guys, just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension and it
From YoungBoy's op dissing his mom and getting gunned down days later.
What? What's up? It's your boy Stevie83 and we're back with another react. You know what I'm saying? Today we're back with your boot up. Here's the boot up right here. We're reacting to gangster drill rappers' parents. How gangster is their parents, man? Let's get into it today. Let's get it. Let's go.
The bloodhound Lil Jeff gunned down on a drill, then his own father threatening to shoot the block up. To Lil Durk's father, once known for running one of the biggest drug operations in Chicago. This is drill rappers and their gangster parents. Lil Durk's father, Big Durk. Big Durk, born Dante Banks Sr., was a well-known street figure in the south side of Chicago long before his son Lil Durk rose to fame. His life story is deeply intertwined with the underworld of Chicago's narcotics scene during the late 1980s and early 1990s, a time when federal crackdowns were ramping up under the so-called war on drugs. Big Durk was respected, feared, and connected. According to several interviews and court records, he was deeply involved in major drug trafficking operations that supplied significant portions of the city. His reputation was known far beyond Chicago, and authorities labeled him as a high-level conspirator in a multi-state drug ring. By the early 90s, Big Durk had become a central figure in a narcotics enterprise responsible for distributing large quantities of white. In 1993, he was arrested by federal agents and charged with conspiracy to distribute over 13 bricks. The case was part of a larger operation involving multiple defendants, and prosecutors painted Big Durk as a top-level player. The charges carried serious weight, and he was ultimately sentenced to life in federal prison without the possibility of parole.
Damn.
Big Durk's arrest and sentencing had a massive impact on his family.
Now let me get this straight. Big Durk doing an L with no possibility of ever getting out. His son facing a RICO that carries a life sentence with the chance of never getting out. How ironic.
Lil Durk was just a toddler when his father was taken away.
Yeah, this reminds me of like when they say curses, like people used to say curses back in the day. Like they curse you and 5 generations before you. Like we're seeing it raw in real life right here. Like these people might have been cursed.
Meaning he grew up without a father figure in the home. Raised mostly by his mother, Durk's early years were shaped by instability, poverty, and the constant weight of his father's absence. In various interviews, Durk has reflected on how the incarceration of Big Durk fueled his own desire to escape the cycle of crime and make a name for himself in music. Inside prison, Big Durk underwent a transformation. He embraced Islam, studied religious texts, and began mentoring younger inmates. He didn't just find faith, he found purpose. According to multiple sources and letters shared by family members, Big Durk used his time behind bars to reflect, reform, and plan for the future. He started advocating for prison reform and became a spiritual guide for many locked up with him. Despite being sentenced to life, he remained hopeful and disciplined. During Barack Obama's presidency, a clemency program was introduced aimed at reducing the sentences of non-violent drug offenders who had been given overly harsh penalties under outdated laws. Big Durk was one of the many who filed for clemency under this initiative. After more than 2 decades behind bars, his sentence was eventually commuted,
20 years.
And he was released in the late 2000s and 10s. He reconnected with his son and started appearing more frequently in Lil Durk's public life, especially as Durk himself began to embrace Islam more openly. Big Durk attended Muslim community events, appeared in public prayers, and was seen alongside Durk during peace-building initiatives in Chicago. Their bond, though delayed, grew strong with time. In a 2024 interview, Big Durk addressed Lil Durk's legal troubles and the murder-for-hire case tied to the Quando Rondo shooting. He expressed disappointment, not in his son, but in the system and the betrayal that seems to follow people trying to change.
Everybody dislikes the system.
We first like to thank everyone for their support, their love, the encouraging words that they gave us, the family. We thank the fans and everyone who stood by us. I leave all legal issues to the lawyers to break that thing. What's dealing with that, the legal issues behind it. As far as the family, as far as me as a father, only thing I can say that it's mighty strange that once he started doing good out there, once he stayed away from all the gang banging and dissing the dead and doing things out there in the street, when he turned his life around, when he on his dean now, practicing religion, doing things for the community, bring about peace in Chicago and throughout various cities, you know, all of a sudden now he being indicted.
Someone close to Big Dirk had snitched back in the 90s, which led to his life sentence.
What a dean is?
Now, decades later, someone close to his son was doing the same. It was a painful reminder of how cycles repeat, even when the people involved are trying to do better. Big Dirk made it clear that he never wanted his son to follow in his footsteps. He often reminded Dirk that street loyalty is rarely reciprocated, and that the same friends you feed can be the ones who fold under pressure.
Different religions.
When news surfaced that OTF Jam might be cooperating with federal agents, Big Dirk was quiet in public, but reportedly furious behind the scenes. His life had been ruined by betrayal, and now his son's future was in jeopardy for the same reason.
Big Dirk, you
Despite
gotta hold
his
him
own
down.
past, Big Dirk never glamorized street life. Since coming home, he's worked with community leaders and former gang members to advocate for peace and redemption. He's spoken
We
at
want
schools,
peace. We can all live
mosques,
together,
and prison
man.
re-entry
We can all
programs.
eat together. There's enough
His
money
story
for
is
all
powerful,
of us
not
to eat
just
off
because
this.
of what he did,
All we gotta
but
do is
because
watch
of how far he came.
everybody each
Lil
other's
Durk has
videos.
often spoken about
Hit
how
the
his
like
father's
button.
absence shaped him. He's also made it clear that his father's return gave him a renewed sense of purpose. The Muslim faith they now share isn't just a religion, it's a way to stay grounded while the world around them spirals.
True that.
In the Chicago drill scene, where violence is glorified and loyalty is constantly tested, Big Dirk's story serves as a warning. He had everything at one point: money, respect, and power. But it wasn't enough to keep him free. He wants
But with
Dirk
money
and the
and
next
power comes
generation
great
to see that being a
responsibility.
leader doesn't mean being a shooter. It
You
means
learned
being
that
smart
from,
enough to
Batman,
walk away.
Superman, Spider-Man,
He's a
one
man
of
who
them.
paid the price for his choices and is now trying to guide others toward a different path. Whether or not his message reaches everyone, it's clear that he's trying. And for Lil Durk, having that guidance, however late it came, might be the thing that saves him from repeating the same story.
We hope so. We hope. I want to see Dirk
FBG
here
Duck's
make
mom,
it, man.
Lashina Weekly, was born and raised in Chicago. Her upbringing wasn't glamorous, but it made her tough. Over the years, she's survived some of the most devastating tragedies any parent could imagine. She's lost 5 children. Not 1, not 2, 5. Each loss carved into her strength, but never broke her spirit.
Mama Bear, you done lost
Her most
5
well-known
kids and ain't
son,
moved your kids
FBG
about that
Duck,
city
was
yet.
one of the pioneers of
Come
Chicago's
on, man.
flyboy gang and drill music scene.
I wouldn't even have
But
took
Duck
that
wasn't her
long for
only
me to
son
move.
involved in the
I'd have been
streets.
gone.
She lost her daughter in a tragic apartment fire. She lost another
See?
child during childbirth after shielding her toddlers during a drive-by shooting.
See?
I lost
Dang, Mama
my
Duck.
first child. When I say I lost 5, because I've been pregnant 9 times. God has blessed me with 10 kids. Okay? My last set was twins. Brick being the oldest and Leanne Gill being the youngest.
Okay.
So in 92, it was a story when I lost my first child in 1992. I was 16 to 17 years old. And I stayed in the
Dang,
project
Queen.
line, and I had Jermaine and Sheldon in the park. I think Jermaine was making 2, and Sheldon probably was going on 1. Sheldon was 2, and Jermaine was 2, and Sheldon was 1. But I was pregnant
We
with
get it.
Javon.
We get it.
The drive by in front of the store, 38th and Cottage Grove. I hit a shot. I dived on them, protecting my 1 and 2-year-old child. That's how I wound up.
As you're supposed to.
In 2007, she accidentally overlaid her 2-month-old baby during a time she was struggling with addiction.
What's
And
overlaid?
in 2017, she lost another son, FBG Brick, Duck's older brother, who was gunned down alongside his friend
overlaid?
Kobe
What's
Mack.
that mean?
The death of FBG Duck in August 2020 became national news. He was shot and killed in broad daylight in Chicago's upscale Gold Coast shopping district. At the time, he was reportedly shopping for a birthday present for his son. His murder wasn't random.
Dang,
Prosecutors say it was
bro,
a planned
what?
hit, orchestrated by O Block members C. Murda, Kenny Mack, Loss, C. Thang, Muwop and Teezy in response to ongoing gang beef between Duck's STL set and O-Block, which is affiliated with Lil Durk and the Black Disciples. The legal battle, Mama Duck versus Lil Durk and the label. In 2024, Mama Duck filed a massive 229-page federal lawsuit.
That's a lot
the
of pages.
defendants, rapper Lil Durk, the estate of King Von, and multiple record labels including Empire, Interscope, Alamo, and Sony Music. The core of her lawsuit accuses these parties of profiting off gang-related violence and fueling street beef that directly contributed to the death of her son. The lawsuit uses the word profit over 100 times and paints a picture of how the music industry incentivizes real-life violence for sales and streaming numbers. It claims these companies funded and promoted rappers who engaged in violent behavior, and that the diss tracks, music videos, and street affiliations were marketed to make money.
They are.
At the heart of it, Mama Duck is saying, if you fund the war, market the war, and profit from the war, then you should be held accountable when someone actually dies in that war. But unfortunately for Mama Duck, the lawsuit was later dismissed. Mama Duck's lawsuit doesn't just rely on paperwork. It calls out real lyrics used by Lil Durk in various songs that allegedly reference her son, FBG Duck, in a disrespectful way. In the song Should've Ducked, featuring Pooh Shiesty, Lil Durk raps, I told my P.O. through the gate that I get high as... She asked me how high do I get? I told her high as duck. This line is seen as a direct reference to FBG Duck, whose name is used as a double entendre to refer to being high. In context, it was widely interpreted as a diss given the timing of the release. And in Backdoor, Durk includes the line, niggas act like they really like that since my Brody died. Just got out the feds.
Damn,
you bring up murders with your police ass. Many believe this is aimed at Duck and other members of STL for allegedly cooperating or speaking to the feds after shootings. These lyrics are cited in Mama Duck's lawsuit as part of the industry-wide trend of profiting off criminal activity and loss.
That's crazy.
What many people don't know is that there's another layer of irony to this story. FBG Duck's father and Lil Durk's father were friends. Both are older men who survived the chaos of Chicago's streets in the 80s and 90s.
That's crazy.
Duck's father wasn't in the spotlight like Mama Duck, but he was reportedly on a podcast with Big Durk.
Damn.
Lil Durk has since embraced elements of Islam, frequently speaking about it in interviews and on social media. Mama Duck, too, found her way through spirituality. After overcoming drug addiction and the trauma of losing multiple children, she began using her voice to spread messages of peace, accountability, and community healing. Since Duck's death, Mama Duck has been outspoken on YouTube, Instagram, and various interviews. She's called out hypocrisy in the music industry, condemned the street code that glorifies killing, and demanded justice for her son. She's even compared herself to Job in the Bible, calling herself the female Job, a woman tested repeatedly but never broken.
Facts, I feel that, man.
Addiction, death, and grief, she continues to advocate for peace. Lil Jeff's father, Big Jeff. Lil Jeff's dad, Jeffrey Harris, wasn't around much when Jeff was growing up. He was in and out of prison, and for most of Jeff's childhood, he was completely absent. People close to the situation said Jeff never had a strong male figure in his life. Lil Jeff said it in an interview himself, calling his dad bogus.
He was, shit, I don't know. We cool now though. That's my boy, but you know how that shit be, man. He cool though. I fuck with him.
Let's say back then he wasn't around.
So I was acting weird as shit. He cool now though, man. He doing what he do.
So how did that affect you back then though? Not having pops around.
OG stood on business, so you know, that shit didn't matter for me.
By the time Jeffrey came back around, Jeff was already deep in the streets. Instead of stepping in as a real father, Jeffrey started acting more like a friend. He would post up with Jeff, take pictures, and try to be one of the guys. Jeffrey Harris used to be from their block. Trap City members confirmed this in an interview when they said Lil Jeff's dad was a good guy from their neighborhood, claiming he wasn't like that.
Found out too that Lil Jeff father is actually from this hood, so I'm speaking out for like the older age group. Did y'all have any relationship with Lil Jeff father when he was active in the streets?
Active in the streets?
Yeah.
I know about that. I know of him.
Y'all ain't never had no real relationship?
We got relationship. Yeah, I talked to Big Jeff, man. Big Jeff be on the A. I used to be down on the A.
Down on the A.
He's a good guy, like, what up? He y'all, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just old. You want in the streets? I ain't know. You know, there's a lot going on right now. Motherfucker lost the little one. That shit hurt.
Hell yeah.
That shit hurt, man.
Damn
So he was
right,
always
that
like
shit
the
hurt.
OG of the streets. Y'all would say when y'all was there.
Not our OG.
What type of person was he in the hood?
Father. That's my homie brother.
Meanwhile, Lil Jeff ended up becoming one of the main
Come on,
faces of
bro.
the Bloodhounds, which eventually became bitter enemies with Trap City. On the day Jeff was gunned down, he was sliding on Trap City. He was sliding with Q50 and T-Slick. Lil Jeff, like every other drill, swung his door open and started blicking at his ops. He chased Trap City Glenn all the way to the porch until Trap City Rob came out and shot him fatally. What made it more twisted is that he died sliding on the same block his father used to rep.
19
After
times
Jeff
got
died,
him.
Jeffrey
Got
Harris
him
got on
19
Facebook and
times,
started
bro.
posting like he was one of the youngins. He didn't speak like a grieving father.
Slide
Instead,
for you.
he tweeted, "And to let it be known, y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all, and what happened, happened." Instead of calling for peace or mourning his son properly, Jeffrey was tweeting like he wanted revenge. It rubbed a lot of people
That's
the wrong way.
crazy, bro.
Folks said
You
this was a grown
old
man
ass.
talking reckless on the internet after losing his son, almost like he was proud of the way Jeff went out. In one of the most
Heck
talked about
no,
tweets,
bro.
Jeffrey
What?
said, "But the saga continues, clear the streets." That got reposted all over the place. Some people were saying it was hard. Others were saying this was the exact reason why Jeff ended up dead so young. And the wildest part is, Jeff actually talked about his mom witnessing him shoot somebody. In his song, Shoulda Saw It, he raps, "I dumped the drac in front my home. My mama saw that shit." It showed just how normal violence had become in his life. Even his own mother had seen it and stayed silent. But when you step back and look at the full picture, it's not hard to see how things spiraled out of control. A kid grows up without a father, ends up in the streets, becomes one of the top sliders for his crew, and
Top
dies
sliders.
sliding on the same set his
Sliding
pops
on your
once called
ops.
home. Then the
Sliding
dad,
on the
instead of
ops.
mourning, hops on Facebook and talks crazy. NBA Youngboy's mom, Sharonda. Rapper NBA Youngboy's mom, Sharonda, grew up in Baton Rouge on 38th
Sharonda.
Street. Her family been on that street for over 48 years. She said she grew
Damn.
up in a normal black family. Her mom, dad, and siblings were all in the house. But she also saw a lot of street life. Her brothers were in the streets, and she picked up on everything around her. She said she used to help rappers in her hood fix their songs when they couldn't figure out the right words.
What?
They'd pay her to come help them in the studio. She had her first child, Telly Golden, NBA Youngboy's sister, at around 22, then had NBA Youngboy at 25. He grew up without a father, as his father Jeffrey was sentenced to 55 years for a...
Yeah, but everybody blames it on their father, It's not all the father's fault. Some of it's the mother's fault too, why he don't want to be around her anymore. People change when they have kids.
robbery and attempted murder after his brother snitched on him. She said NBA Youngboy wasn't a bad kid, just active. He had older friends, and he started moving in the streets early. By 8 or 9, he was already getting into stuff. When she found out he was running up to cars in the hood delivering weed, she started leaving him at her mom's house more than her other
Leaving
kids.
him at Granny's
She said it
house.
was safer there. She was working 2 jobs when her kids were little. She dropped them off in the morning, picked them up late at night, and did it again the next day. She wasn't in the streets. She was working and taking care of her kids. She said Youngboy's grandma helped raise him because she worked so much, but he still lived with her. She always supported her son, even when people online talked crazy. She clapped back on Instagram, telling people not to play with him. NBA Youngboy used to be a younger member of the set TVG, with his big homie G-Money.
TVG?
G-Money dissed his sister and they started beefing. G-Money was gunned
Hey,
down
Tony,
and
you got
another
about
TVG
600 bucks
member,
there.
Boulevard
The
Quick, dissed Sharonda and got drilled for it. Quick took the disrespect to another level by going on Instagram Live and aiming wild insults directly at Sharonda.
Man.
Boulevard Quick.
Yeah, man. Young boy, man. Tell me shit about that bitch. That eat a big long. I'm talking about so long that go through her and any daughter she ever had. And any daughter she dream about making.
Like a shish kebab.
Yeah, man. Get out of my and say what she won't say about me. She holler me. You look like a man though. You look like a punk. Talking about me. I ain't afraid of. I speaks on everything. Boy, fuck that mama. Play with me first.
Sharonda hopped on Instagram Live and
Look at
addressed
her.
the situation directly.
Damn!
She actually apologized to Quick, saying the only reason she dissed him in the first place was because he had problems with her son.
No, I had woke up this morning. Everybody in my earbuds talk about the little boy Quick was talking about me.
Billy Bob Quick.
I really got on him to tell him that I'm sorry. I came to tell little Boulevard Quick that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I made you cry, boo. For real. Because I wasn't being mean, like
the trolling don't
on my
stop.
thing, like I'm reading out, and somebody said, somebody hit me, he's their friend, so I said, give me a I'm like, I feel like anybody that don't like my churn, and that's how I am. If you don't like my churn, y'all. I wasn't being mean or mess or nothing, and then I saw him on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, crying yesterday about, oh, his mama put my name in her mouth, and that's up, and I swear to God, man, she better keep my name out her mouth. I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry I put your name in your mouth because I saw you crying. She looked like a man. She ugly. She got man features. I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry for talking about you because you look like a ball. You got round features, boo. I'm sorry. She want to be a comedian.
She
so
Friday.
bad. She want to be a rapper so bad. I'm sorry I made you cry. For real. I don't know you, boo. I don't. I'm sorry. I was just saying whoever don't like my train. I wasn't just saying, trying to be mean or messy. They be on my thing, talk about you, saying you said this and that, and so that's why I said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you just said us plenty of days.
Hell yeah, twice a day.
I wasn't trying to be mean, like for real though. Like and for real, I'm a mama. Anybody that don't like my churn, if anybody who don't like me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you personally, because I don't know you. I do not know you. So go ahead and, I said I'm sorry on live in front of everybody. So now you can go back to a grocery store and make you some more little videos.
But the backhanded apology for Sharonda meant nothing. Not long after the live sessions and continued disses, Boulevard Quick was gunned down outside of his apartment complex around midnight. The hit came fast and clean, and rumors immediately started flying that it was retaliation for the things he said online, especially about Youngboy's mom. After his diss incident, Youngboy seemed to confirm it when he dropped the song Impact and rapped, "Spoke on my mama, I ain't wanna talk, I end up killing a." It was clear Youngboy wasn't tolerating disrespect, and Quick paid the price for it. The craziest part is before he was gunned down, he joined Youngboy's live, and Youngboy was telling Quick he remembered what he said about his mom.
I ain't tripping. Fuck my mama. I ain't see that. The jump, huh? So, I'm a host. You hear me? Don't mix my rap life with my music life. I am pure.
This shows the loyalty Youngboy has for his mom. Sharonda is known for keeping it real online.
They get up on
she
his
said
ass.
fans always try to troll her, but she doesn't care. She'll roast them right back.
Yeah.
She said if someone make you feel bad, make them feel bad too. That's how she raised her kids. She taught them to stand up for themselves and not let people play with them. She also said she let her boys do what they want, but was harder on her daughter. When asked why, she said men can be out here and it's not a big deal. But when women do the same thing, they get judged. She said it's always been like that. Youngboy mentioned her in his song Lonely Child when he raps, "I call Monique my mama, but Lord knows I need Sharonda. I don't need no commas. I'm feeling like I'm going under." It made her feel good, but she didn't make it a big deal. She said they were just regular people. One line that hit fans was in Home Ain't Like Home, when he rapped, "I think I'm stuck up in the streets, still got my mama, but I'm still looking for my grandma love." Youngboy grew up with his grandma a lot, so when she passed away, Youngboy felt it. And it's safe to say he misses his grandma's love. When people online tried to clown Youngboy for painting his nails or wearing face paint, Sharona shut that down too. She said that's not a big deal, and people always looking for something to talk about. She don't let trolls bother her. Polo G's mom, Stacia Mack, rapper Polo G's mom, Stacia Mack, didn't just raise a rapper. She helped build one. Before the fame, before the billboard hits, it was her behind the scenes, putting in work.
Putting in that
she was
work,
Polo's
putting
mom,
it in, getting that
she
work
was also
in,
his manager. Stacia Mack was solid at first. She was doing interviews, giving advice to other artist moms, and running her son's career like a boss.
Run it up!
But by the time Polo G tried to drop Hood Poet, everything started falling apart.
Dang.
The family was breaking down in public, and it all came to a head in early 2024.
Dang.
That's when Stacia got into
When
a
the-
fight with her own daughter, Polo
Man,
G's sister, Leilani.
You cannot bottle
According to
stuff in,
Leilani,
guys, for
she
long,
pulled up
'cause
to her
then you
mom's
pop.
house on Easter and got disrespected right away.
Got a gun
She
in her
said
hand.
Stacia started clowning her appearance in front of everybody, saying she hated her hair. Leilani said she told her mom it hurt her feelings, and that's when things got heated, real fast. Leilani says her mom attacked her and things got physical. Court docs later said Stacia pulled out a gun and fired shots in the house. Stacia didn't deny it. She even posted online saying, "You damn right I blew that motherfucker. I never said I didn't."
Damn.
She said it was just warning shots to protect her grandbaby
I
and herself.
blew that motherfucker.
She didn't try to hurt
Grandma.
nobody, just scared them.
Blowing shit
But
down.
the situation exploded. Polo G started texting his mom in anger. He said, "Answer the phone, I'm calling
Done
you
with
now."
you for the rest of my
Then he
life
told
to
her,
know that.
"I hate you. I'm done with you for the rest of my life." Stacia clapped back,
what?
calling Polo a piece of shit, leaking their text convos, and even filing a restraining order against her own daughter. This was the same woman who had once managed Polo G's entire career, who helped make him a star. But now she was in the middle of a full-on family war.
What
Polo
the
didn't speak too much publicly, but he did say,
"To your own mama?"
I always try to get in between before it go too far. We family. It's just being broadcast more because I'm famous." But the family drama wasn't just with his mom and sister. Around the same time, Polo's little brother, Trench Baby, was making headlines too. First, he got locked up for robbery. Then, later in 2023, he
Again.
got charged with murder. And
Oh
the
my
crazy part,
God.
people have been warning about Trench Baby for a while. He was using Polo G's name in the streets to set people up,
What?
allegedly robbing producers,
That's
YouTubers, and even
crazy.
industry folks.
You gonna rob the
One
producer
content
and
creator said Trench
cameraman?
Baby told him Polo was pulling
Man,
up to
what
the
the
studio,
fuck?
but when he got there, Polo wasn't there. Just Trench Baby with 2 guns. He robbed him, then made him wire $50,000 on the spot. Then LAPD raided Polo G's mansion in LA. They found a whole stash of weapons, guns
What?
everywhere. They took Polo and Trench Baby in. That's when Polo started tweeting, "Rap got so lame and watered down, it ain't no fun in it no more." After this album, I'm considering...
That's gonna do it for me today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn and post notifications on so you never miss another upload. And go tell a friend about me, man. We're gonna be giving away $1,000 coming up soon on the channel. Make sure you get in here. We're gonna announce